Good morning and welcome to Gulfstream today. Brian Nadeau and Samantha Perry wishing you a very happy new year from us here at Gulfstream Park to you, and hope everybody had a safe and happy one last night and into today. We got a fun day of racing for you, though, if you want to string along on what is the kickoff to 2025. And, we've been in the championship meet for a month now, but obviously front and center now with Wednesday racing.
Yeah, we're back on Wednesdays, and we're with you on Wednesdays throughout all the way up until the Florida Derby, which is that last weekend in March. And it gets here so fast, it seems like it's just you close your eyes and then we're already in April. So you have to enjoy it while you can. And of course, we're happy to everybody who joins us every year. But
Absolutely.
Last year in 2024 in particular, it's a great year. Great to have Ron with us. Great to be with you guys every single day. There's at least one person listening. So to you, whoever you might be, thank you and Happy New Year.
13 Wednesdays in a row, 5-day racing week now, and the Rainbow Six has been huge already, but now with an extra day of racing, things are really going to get big, and we're already up to 400,000. That was after 1 week of 4-day racing, so this will be huge today. Now, the bummer is with more overnight rains, and if you saw it Sunday, it was wild, but last night here in Hollandale Beach, some overnight rain as well. We're going to be off the turf today, unfortunately, so we'll revert to the Tapeta in those turf races. A fast main track, that is the good news, and of course the Tapeta is in play. We've got a couple stakes for you today, and they're solid for sure. And we've got a big early pick 5 as well. And with 54 minutes to post, we're already at $30,000 and counting. Let's take a look at my ticket. Nothing really important with the scratches, at least early on for me. You can see a single in race number 2 to Crypto Man. In race number 3, we'll go with the 5, and that is Super Amusing. Race number 4, 2 deep in there. The 3, Bella Cleopatra on top, and then my best bet of the day is Amen, getting to the Tapeta for Joe Orsino, and one of those Bicheros that we would think will take to it. But the opener is very, at least to me, tricky and somewhat problematic. I went 4 deep. I'm interested. Oh boy, you got my long shot on top. Now it's super early in the betting, so it's pointless to. To be perfectly honest with you, I actually filmed a video. This horse has been 7-2 and 8-5 and 2 total no shows for Barboza, but we had Lasix today, as all the 3-year-olds do. Happy birthday, by the way, to all our equine athletes. We'll talk about that later. And I said, I don't know, Grand Conquistador is going to be 3-1 or 23-1, because my goodness, I'm shocked that you came up with this horse as well.
Oh yeah, I just figured that now you've got the fitness running on the dirt the first 2 times, and now we're going to try the Tapeta here. That was a quick work. It was at Palm Meadows on the grass course there, and you just don't read too much into that. But I think there's, if one thing, this filly has shown some speed.
That's what I like too. Yeah. The odd thing, Victor Barboza Jr. is 1 for 15 adding Lasix, so that was very
interesting,
shocking to me.
But we've talked about this before. The barn is a bit different than this time last year.
Oh, way different. Yeah, he's winning. What's he got? 8 wins. Don't quote me on it. He might not have had 8 wins all championship meet last year. So he's been doing good things. Let's go to the 7 now. Stubbold has had some chances, but she too now is going to add Lasix, and she's been tiring late, and she cuts back too.
She does. I think that the 5 furlongs, it makes such a big difference at the end of the day. I know it seems kind of insignificant sometimes when you look at it on paper, and like you said, these horses that are now getting Lasix, that's such a it's a big move up with some of these that maybe, like her, have kind of like stuck in that neutral gear a little bit. Maybe we'll bring something out of them a bit more.
The thing that it's problematic for me, because everybody's getting Lasix, so it's not like 6 of them have been running on it and 1 doesn't, and then you automatically look at that one. It's all kind of a guessing game. No interest in Bella Mendy, the 1. Now this is off the claim for Guadalupe Preciado. Let's take a look at a stat here that Ronnie pulled up, and he'll be out with us. I was willing to fade this horse. I'm going to use 12%, solid enough. He does reach for IRAD, but he's going to have to work something out from down here.
Yeah, that's not always ideal here. And we did get, this is the first day it's been sunny in a few days, honestly. So, but on Sunday we saw the Tapeta just playing very speed favoring, very front favoring, and I don't know if we'll get that today, because like I said, we got some rain, but now the sun's out. It changes so quick, so just take note of that as we get through the opener.
And that's a great point because there are 7 Tapeta races today with the races off the turf. You want to pay attention. Sometimes the inside can be a little better, which is very, very rare, and it does play speedy. Early pick 4 in race number 2. We'll go a flat 1-turn mile here. These are 4-year-olds. Now, obviously, we changed that now. 4-year-olds and up, which have never won 2. It's an $8,000 tag. Scratch the 7, Summer Storm Strick. And we'll take a look at Samantha's early pick 4 ticket now.
I don't have a single here. I did lose my best bet. That was in race number 3 with the 5, but now that we're on the Tapeta, I added in the 8 Chancelicious. Race number 4, I am spreading a little bit. I do have the 3 Bella Cleopatra on top, and in race number 5, I've got the 6 on top. That is Devola for John Service. It's a $36 play, and what is, I feel like, a pretty tricky sequence.
Yeah, I thought Crazy Joe could wake up a little bit there in race number 5 for Service. We'll take a look at it. Let's get back now to the opener. I don't want to say it's a match race, but if it's not Crypto Man and Performante, well, good. This is good. Heathcliff's got the Miss Perry angle here. Heathcliff going to try the main track, going to try 1 turn. He better hurry early.
He better. So this horse had one prior dirt start. Wesley Ward debuted this horse on the grass, and then Safi the next time out had this horse on the dirt. This was before the claim, and this horse was training incredible. Now this was earlier last year, so a lot of things have happened. Then basically the horse has just shown that he's not really all that much. But what I like is we're going to cut back to this 1-turn distance here. Admittedly, this is a little bit of a stab, but the way that this horse was training, he was training so well across the main track. I couldn't believe how poorly he did run on the dirt with Safi, but I'm going to give him another chance here because that was the only chance he had.
Well, his 7 rivals aren't going to scare him much either, and I think that's I get what you're doing here. Crypto Man is so tough to trust. I put him on top. It is Safi. Edgard says sure. I'll ride. Voided claim in the mud back in the late summer. Who knows? So 1 for 15, by the way, too.
Hard to trust.
Hard to trust. Performante, I don't want to call him a refuser yet, but he's had 4 chances against winners, and hasn't really kicked the door down.
No, he hasn't, and that kind of makes you wonder.
Yeah.
Last time, 16 Cigarettes wasn't any great shakes,
No,
and
not at
so
all.
he just kind of finds one better each and every time.
Yeah, and he didn't, he was second by 4 lengths last time, too, but he's definitely one of the ones in here. Now, race 3, unfortunately, we're off the turf. We'll stretch out to 1.70 miles here. $50,000 maiden claimers for the now newly turned 3-year-old fillies. 1 scratch of the 6, and that is Cue the Music for Lisa Lewis, is out, and we're both on the same horse here. I did not change anything. How about you?
Well, this was my best bet, but now he's not anymore.
Okay, so best bet. I like this horse
She-
on the stretch. On the stretch out, a Daughter of English Channel, out of a Kitten's Joy mare. The last thing she wanted to do was run 5.5.
Exactly. So she's going to bring some tactical speed
Yeah.
to the party here. You've got those races under her belt already. Again, like everybody, we're going to add Lasix here for the Live Oak connections, and I just feel like she moves way up here.
Yeah, the second turn, she's already shown speed as well. Clearly, they've got to beat Vespera for Clement and Irad.
Yeah.
Dean Reeves, they're going to bet hard on this horse. She's going to stretch out, too. A Daughter of Volatile out of a Harlan's Holiday mare.
So this is one that I faded on my early pick 4 ticket here. I felt like you could either go down with her or not.
Right.
I decided just to not.
Okay.
Maybe with the Tapeta, I think it's good that they left her in.
Yeah.
I kind of sometimes prefer Volatile sprinting.
Okay, I do. I mean, I don't disagree
Yeah.
with that. That's kind of what, in my mind, would 1 turn.
Right.
Maybe you can get a longer 1 turn, but 1 turn to me. Chancelicious is going to stretch. She was going to try turf. She's now going to try Tapeta. I'm not buying it.
I don't blame you, and I wasn't either. But now on the Tapeta, I'm a little more intrigued, just
Okay.
because I feel like the Tapeta can maybe help out horses that on the grass I wouldn't play. I don't know about you. I wasn't going to play her on the grass, but now
No.
I feel like this is a decent enough post. There was a work on the grass, but now it's we didn't include it because there's no reason to.
There's no reason.
Yeah,
to,
because the point of the work on the grass was to show you not to play her.
Right.
But now on the Tapeta, I think things are going to play a bit differently. Wesley Ward, he's got his barn out on Rice Road at Keeneland. He does a lot of training across the Keeneland training track, so you know that this filly's been across it.
Yeah, but you know what? She's by chance a lot, and you want to talk 1 turn. That's her.
That's a good point.
Well, that's him, but her, for to me at least, Chancelisha. So we'll see. Going to add Lasix here as well, and probably a decent post because she's going to go show some speed. One more now before the break. It's a solid one too. These newly turned 3-year-old state-bred fillies will go at it in what is a 1X. The 2 long shots on the outside are out. The 6 China Blue in the 7 Valiant Kiss. And we'll start with you. We both got the same horse. This is a very short number, logical favorite. We'll bring up this replay too, and we'll talk. And you talk about Bella Cleopatra.
Well, this was a really good effort. This was a state-bred stakes race. Miss Worldwide. I love this filly for trainer Brian Lynch. She came back to win the Sandpiper at Tampa next time out in a very gutsy fashion. And you can see Bella Cleopatra. She tried hard. These Vacomas, they are so early. Yeah. They're quick. She gets dirt there, kind of more pressed onto the inside. I just think that now that was her first race in a few months, that she should be a bit more live here.
Yeah, I mean, it was her first race for George Weaver. It was her first race on a fast main track, layoff, ship, all that stuff. So I agree with you. I think she's supposed to be the one to beat in here. Feedy for De La Cerda and Scrunchy, she's okay. She got thrown to the Wolves and the My Dear Girl, but that sprint win 2 back, and she came back on short rest. I thought that was a big time effort.
It was, and now she'll add Lasix, of course, again today. But she's one that should really benefit. You liked her last out, didn't you? Yeah, I thought so. And you were impressed with the way she ran.
I did. I was. Yeah, and she's dangerous. I don't like the rail, and we'll have to see. She's got a big win at 7 furlongs. Yeah. But I don't know if she pulls that trip today. Just a filly, Dave Brady, very, very live, and I got to tell you what, she was good breaking her maiden.
She really was. I don't know where that came from. I wasn't really for her that day at all, but she wasn't 100% fit, and she, on her debut, she tried really hard, and then that fitness came back around where you could just tell it just kind of woke her up. And honestly, now I know that she's still a young horse, but this is a pretty good post here. It'll be interesting to see what she does, what the pace scenario does here.
Well, you mentioned post, and now you mentioned pace, and I couldn't agree more because for these gals, they do want to be involved early.
Right.
We're going to see who can trip out and work something out. I kind of worry if Lionel's got to be pot committed from the rail with Feedy. We'll have to see. The long shot Kip the Distance is the one that doesn't have any speed.
But she's got experience.
But she's got a world of experience, absolutely.
And she's won on the main track, so.
She has, and she's running stakes races, and I know this is not a stakes, but the only thing that this is a pretty good group. Both Feedy and Bella Cleopatra are going to run in stakes, and if just Philly can, make the jump, she is too. So we'll see. But the flow says Kip the Distance could be a price play in here. So we've got 4 down, 6 to go on this New Year's Day card here. And when we come back, $400,000 in your estimated Rainbow Six. Ron Nicoletti has the ticket. Stay tuned.
And they're off.
New DRF All Access past performances. With one best-in-class product, you now get all 3 past performance formats. Easily switch between views. Access the most trusted information in horse racing with DRF All Access past performances. Go to DRF.com and use coupon code 1FREEPP for a free single card today.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Brian and Samantha wishing you and all your family a happy and healthy New Year's Day as we kick off 2025. We kick off Wednesday racing here at Gulfstream Park as well. If you weren't with us from the start, 13 Wednesdays in a rip, bridge all the way to the Curlin, Florida Derby.
Yep.
At the end of March, and the path to that race actually starts on Saturday with the Mucho Macho Man, right?
Yeah.
And it's a good race too. It's a compelling race where they all kind of sort of look the same on paper, and as a gambler and a handicapper, we love that. But let's try to get you some cash for that with the Rainbow Six. As I mentioned already, we're up to $400,000 in the estimated jackpot, and I'll tell you what, there's going to we're going to put a lot into it today as well. Let's take a look at Ron's ticket. I'll let Samantha walk you through it, and then we'll get back into this race. Ooh, he ups it a little bit.
He
today.
does. Well, I know he really liked to Dream On. That was
Sure.
his single, so that's out, and that probably changes the complexity a lot here. Race 6, just 3 of them, though. He's got King Julian with Tapeta Experience now that we're off the grass. Biz Biz Buzz. I'm pretty sure he's got that one on top, and Capture the Lion, of course, looks pretty good there. Race number 7, just the 2 and the 4 for him. Lights of Broadway and Grand David. Race 8, that is the cash run. This is for now 3-year-old fillies. He has the 4 and the 7, Paradise City and Sweet Note. I believe he has Sweet Note on top. Race 9, look, that just changed the whole complexity for him now. This is a huge spread race to him, at least, and I kind of don't disagree. And in race number 10, just too deep, the 2, I'm not going to say that, and the 3, Skull Honor. The 2 and the 3.
Oh, yeah, that's why Pete's the track announcer, and we are the hosts and
fill-ins?
analysts. And that that is true, too.
Yeah.
At least on a couple days, a couple races. Okay, back to the 5th now. We'll kick it off on the Tapeta. At 5.5 here, it's a $35,000 maiden claimer. Again, the newly turned 3-year-olds. Happy birthday to everybody. The only change is potentially a big one. The 8 Buchero's Dude is going to be run as a gelding.
Yep.
Take note of that. I'm surprised you didn't pick this horse, but and you didn't pick the other Buchero as well. So let's talk about the 6. Crazy Joe DeVola is going to go maiden special weight to claimers here, and gonna add Lasix, and showed a lot of speed there in his earlier races too.
Yeah, he did. That was just a crazy send mission last time out. I don't want to see that today. Last time out I picked him, and I wasn't. When I saw him, immediately I knew that I was just not gonna be alive here, because I figured that this horse just needed maiden claiming, and look, we're gonna get it today. So I'm gonna try him again one more time. Now on the Tapeta.
Well, you know what? I will say this. DeVola was at Del Park and went 40. He was on the lead at 47-4. And I remember we did the race here and said, where is he going to be placed early?
Right.
And he flashed 44-3 speed.
Yep.
So, that was just just kind of a product of what was going on up at Delaware on a more slower, tiring turf course. So DeVola's got plenty of speed, and he'll flash it today. Aiming now for Joe Orsino, and Joe has been off to a very prolific start at the championship meet. He's going to run this guy for 35 on the main track at 6.5. He chased and tired just a little bit, 5-2 that day. Now, Samantha, this Buchero is going to get to the Tapeta, and he's going to cut back. I think he wakes up big time.
Yeah, he really has to, you think. He's one that I think is really going to benefit, at least from the 5.5 distance here. If it was 5, I would be a bit more hard pressed, because the 6.5, I think, is really going to be his game. But the Tapeta, these Bucheros, they just move way up.
He's my best bet today.
Good.
Joe's going to reach out for Edgard Zayas. Mika Husband's certainly a very, very high level apprentice, but now you get one of the best here today. How about it? The 3 Abreu he's going to get going sooner or later, and now we're dropping. He pulled this move the other day when he beat you and Ron.
You had this horse here. I talked to Mike Welsh about this horse, the work on December 21st. Luca worked him this day. Mike said he galloped out well. It wasn't on XBTV, but I'll trust his eyes on that one. I think we'll see a better effort today.
Yeah, I don't disagree at all, and this is the biggest drop in racing, albeit he's coming out of a state-bred race. Now, late pick 5 in race number 6, we are unfortunately off the turf. This is an optional claimer here for what is now the 4-year-olds and up. Scratch the 4 Vamo Viejo and the 6 High Limit Room. That's a big scratch. Let's take a look at your ticket and see where we're going in here.
Well, it's a 67.50 play for me here, which is a little bit more, but it's the new year, so why not? And now with the surface switches, makes it a little more complicated. Race 6, I do have the 2 on top. That's Horsepower. I do scratch into the 2 here. Just race number 7, I'm singling Space Launch. I didn't want to try to get too cute in that race. Race number 8, it's a big spread race for me. I have the 3 Unchained Elaine on top, though. Race number 9, I do have the 8 on top. That's Hammerhead. This was a bit of a rework for me this race, and we'll get into it in just a little bit, but I think that Hammerhead looks pretty live here. And in the finale, I do have just 3 of them, Skull Honor, Signal Caller, and Always True. 67.50.
All right, let's get back into it now. Race number 6, and we'll start with you on what is a difficult race.
Yeah.
Horsepower in DJ Stable. Well, okay, I'm glad you put this horse. I moved this horse into 3rd. Arguably the biggest move up in the entire race, because I didn't view this horse as a turf horse.
No, I didn't either, and I know that the figures at Colonial were decent, but that's Colonial. It's a different type of turf course here. I think that now that he's got a race under his belt, and luckily it was on the Tapeta, this horse, it was a good effort that day.
Yeah.
Now we'll see how the race will set up for him. He's got tactical speed. He's shown he can pass horses, which I like to have that versatility.
Yeah, and now conversely, he's run fine on the Tapeta, but Capture the Lion, I think the playing field has leveled a little bit, because personally laid over the field on the turf.
Yeah.
I think on the Tapeta now, he's still going to be favored for Cassie and Irad. Pink Silks of Gary Barber. I think this is a tougher task now.
I had no idea why they bet him so much last time out. I couldn't figure it out at all. It was a really fast race, though.
Yeah.
If you believe in it, great. I was willing to fade him here.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Let's show you the 3, if not for luck. This is a turf race, I get it, but he was darn good here, and he's got Tapeta form, so that's why I was okay. High Limit Room is out now, but that's why I was okay showing this, because he really took the worst of it the entire way.
Yeah, and you made the point, like, he's not a turf horse. I don't think so. He won this day, but the pace kind of collapsed for him. He's one that he's shown you can put him wherever you want. Jesus Rios has just really figured out when to punch the gun with him, and that's huge in a race like this.
Yeah, and I love these Barrio Stable horses.
Yeah.
They are very crafty, and I'll tell you what, if these guys are leaving him in, they think he's a big player in here. Late pick 4 kicks off in race number 7. We'll go $170 on the Tapeta in this field of 7 $25,000 claimers, 4-year-olds and up. Let's take a look at my late pick 4 ticket. Obviously, the stakes is the big quote-unquote rework in race number 8. You can see I'm all around it here. I don't like anybody in the cash run, so I'm going to look for a price with Sweet Note. I'm going to single. I just feel at the end of the day, Mibago is better than these horses. We'll get to it in a second. He's got an absolutely tremendous pace advantage in that race. And in race number 10, the dart is on the 5, Stone Cold Flex, who will run on the Tapeta for a much reduced price for a hot barn, and Antonio Sano, and that's never a bad thing to see. One of the good guys around here. Let's take a look now at race 7, and you said Space Launch. You know, I'm on the other one. It's got to be one of the 2, maybe, or what? Space Launch for you?
It is. I'm not super keen on this rail draw, especially that we're putting the blinkers back on here today. Sometimes that can alter the break. You're standing in the gate the longest, and now you add the blinkers. So this horse has had blinkers in the past before. Look, the Tapeta races in the past for this horse were good efforts. Irad Ortiz has ridden this horse before on the Tapeta. I'm just hoping that, your Jose D'Angelo, there's so many different ways you can go in this race. I'm just going to go down with the Space.
That's fine, because, I mean, to me, it's Lights of Broadway or him. Yeah. Now, Lights of Broadway, the $37,000 question is, was there anything left in the tank?
Right.
Because he would lap this field if there is, but he totally no-showed last time. And I'm not just willing to say, you know what, it was a stakes race. And I don't know. He could have run a little bit, and he chose not to. No,
he didn't. It makes him hard to trust.
Yeah.
He's back with his friends today, at least.
He certainly is, and we'll find out a lot about where Lights of Broadway is at about 3:22 in the p.m. and where his form is, because this is his group. The first of 2 stakes are in the 8th. It's the cash run. We'll stretch these newly turned 3-year-old fillies out to a 1-turn mile today. It's a clean field of 7. It's a fascinating race. Pull up Unchained Elaine. She's the one of 2 two-time winners in this field, and she was good last time. You got to give it to her.
She really was. This was a great effort. I'm not going to tell you that she was beating a whole lot, but it was the way that she did it that I found pretty impressive, Brian, is when she was called upon by jockey Joe Bravo, she really did run quite well here, and she levels off, and what she ends up doing is she gets her ears pricked and she just goes for it. I like that she's fit. We know for a fact she's fit coming from the Biancone barn here, and with that 7 furlong race under her belt.
Yeah, she's going to have to answer the bell today. It was a 2-horse race last time, and the only danger didn't run at all. I Amazonia. You could see she was just really spent after they walked early. But we'll see. I mean, she's threatened to be a good horse, and maybe she's putting it together now. I'm just taking a shot with Sweet Note, the Churchill Invader. She caught a wildly fast horse last time.
Yeah.
Brendan Walsh going to put blinkers on. And I like this post as Tyler can kind of see what's going on from out there.
Yeah, she can. It's a nice little tune-up breeze on the 27th of December, just in prep for this race here. You know that she's a fit one as well. I don't know how classy she is yet. We'll find out.
We will.
But I like the fact, that she's in a spot like this, and this is a really good draw. I included her in my ticket. I just don't have her.
Yeah, I think you have to. Let's look at Yellow now. You know how against her I am in this race. But, again, to play devil's advocate, Indeed came back and made me look silly and ran off. Her stablemate won the other day. This is Yellow. Indeed's down on the inside offering nothing. This is a slow race, Samantha.
It is a slow race, but on the contrary to that, look at the track variant that day. That was 31.
Yeah.
You don't see that at Gulfstream a lot. And you look at the races last year. I just was looking, and you're seeing 8s and 7 variants. Now we're at 31 this race. So she's got the fitness. I think she's doing well enough, which is a good sign. The fact that they're bringing her back in a spot like this, and she has the 1 mile under her belt, so she's got that experience. Now, is she as good as these? Maybe not, but maybe today, since she's got that bottom.
Let's quickly talk about your 2 morning line favorites, the 2 Safi horses who have not been good of late. The 4 Paradise City and the 6 Andrea. Now, they haven't been good out of town, so that could be significant.
Yeah, what do you do with them here?
I don't know.
Paradise City gets the blinkers off. They experimented with them last time out, and it didn't really work well, but I thought that she ran better than it looked, and that's a good race. The Cool Intentions
ran. Those are males, and I'm, darn well I'm picking Cool Intentions on Saturday.
Exactly.
In the Macho Man.
Yeah,
so.
But she was tired at the end.
She
so
was.
I wonder, we're coming back a little less than a month time. Does that take anything out of it?
Yeah, and Andrea left town and lost a lot of shine on her Rose, but her 2 races here are just devastating, and Amicia rode her both times. So we'll see what we get today. I think both of them now will have to answer the bell, and we'll figure out where they're going. Is it a, Gulfstream Oaks route, or are we doubling back now and trying to figure things out?
Right.
Race 9 is Adania Beach. Unfortunately, it's off the turf. 1.70 on the Tapeta. These are newly turned 3-year-olds. A big scratch, of course, is the 2 Dream On, but Marcassi left the 4 Mibago in. Let's start with you with Hammerhead, who is by far the biggest move up in the race off a Woodbine fast and good second on Tapeta.
Yeah, here's the thing. You've got the experience here, and probably Kevin Attard is happy about this for the surface switch. The races at Woodbine, we'll see Sugar Buzz tomorrow or possibly the next day. I think it's tomorrow, yes. So take note of that. The turf win was a good one, but I like the way that he handled winners the next time.
Cassie left Mibago in. He's a stakes winner. He was awesome in the pulpit. I sure hope he doesn't go 46-1 to the half today. He won't have to. He'll be in front. The question is speed holding on the Tapeta.
That's the big one.
That's the big one.
We don't know. And if it is, this horse is going to be down the road. I don't think anybody's going to catch this horse, but we don't know if that's how it'll unfold.
I'm glad you put the 3 in second, because I know could have been 50-1 on the turf. He's arguably got the best Tapeta race of anybody here 3 starts back.
It was a really good race. And the other Tapeta start before that was second by just a nose. So virtually he's done nothing wrong in his only 2 Tapeta starts.
No, Team B and Cone quite happy with the surface switch today. Puzzle in the finale, race number 10, 17.5 maiden claimers, 3-year-olds here. We'll go 1 mile and a 16th on the Tapeta, a clean field of 10, and I think there's a lot of different ways you're going to could go in here. You'll land on the 3 Skull Oller, Irad, and D'Angelo off the claim.
Yeah, the first time Lasix for all of these, of course. I think this will move up this horse quite a bit here today. You're going to get Irad. You're going to take a short price. It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, he might be favored. I think the 5 Stone Cold Flex now. You look at the 2 Tapeta races, routes, they were for 50.
Yeah.
And they were better than this group. So, to me, he might not be favored on the morning line. He's clearly the horse to beat. And then Signal Caller, Leon McCannis. Boy, here's a great thing on Signal Caller. He was 58-1 on
Yeah.
debut. He was he beat your pick, and they're not going to bet him today because of that.
Exactly, which is going to be very interesting. And this is a race that can potentially get singles in the rainbow.
Oh, yeah.
I think today's one of those days here. This is not a barn that wins
Right.
first out, really not a barn that wins second out either. But hey, this horse handled it quite well last time, and they're going to reach out for Drayden here, which is interesting.
Yes, that race is like 3-1, 7-2 today. But the fact he was 58-1, the fact that Leon McCannis is not a household name, I don't think they come back to this horse.
I don't think so either. It doesn't seem like they will.
No, and I think he's going to be a very square price, and he's a big player, to be sure. 10-pack for you today, and a couple of stakes, of course, the cash run in the Dania Beach, where we've got a lightning round to get to, the first Wednesday lightning round, and we'll have standings for you for the next 13 of these on a Wednesday. And let's start it right here, trainers and jockeys.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of change in the plot here. Irad is doubling up on these guys.
That is just when you look at it. Okay, we all know he's a leading rider. We get that. And then you see this, because look at the guys he's doubling now.
Right.
Edgar, Tyler, and Edwin and Lionel. Good to see them on the leaderboard.
It is.
That is crazy. Joel Rosario in town this weekend. So
Yep.
things might change a little bit. They're not going to change on the top. Let's take a look at the trainer standings now. We know Safi's in front, as he very likely will be. That's
Yep.
a big number already for Jose D'Angelo.
It really is. This is a barn that has been doing quite well. And in
Yep.
the podium, you've got Todd Pletcher, Barboza, and Cassie in the mix, all of them with good shots this weekend as well.
Yeah, without a doubt. We've already mentioned the two stakes today, but we've got them, as I mentioned, the cash run. And this is a good race because we're always looking ahead. We've got the
Right.
Mucho Macho Man / Florida Derby prep on Saturday to who kind of can see among the locals, at least,
Right.
if they can continue down the path to what we've got, the Holy Bull, Fountain Youth, in our Derby. And I think today in the cash run for the gals is a significant race too.
Yep, it really is. And it's an exciting time here.
Yeah, everybody in there is going to be facing much, much better next time.
Yeah.
But we'll see where they kind of sit and settle on our path to our Gulfstream Park Oaks. Happy birthday, as we've already kind of mentioned, but happy birthday to all our equine athletes. We love them dearly, and everybody turns 1 year older today.
Yep, 1 year older as we switch into 2025 now.
You said it. And what about your best bet today?
It was for the grass, so
Oh, yeah, so no, okay.
longer. Yep.
Well, I got one still, Amon. And
Okay.
what race is that? Is that the fifth race
Yeah.
today on the Tapeta 52? Amon at 5-2. Do you have a long shot?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Heathcliff.
Oh, yeah.
A bit early in race 2.
12, right? Okay, I like that. Getting back to the main
Right.
track, only the second time. I'm right here in race number 1, and maybe
Okay.
we get the number here on
Yeah.
Grand Conquistador. Samantha's top pick as well. So in the opener, in about 23 minutes, the 9 Grand Conquistadora is my long shot today. We'll see how that plays out. As we mentioned already, from everybody here at Gulfstream Park to you and your family, a very happy new year. We're happy and excited to have you aboard for a good 10-pack today. Pete's upstairs with your scratches and changes. Ronnie's coming out for the opener. Samantha will be bopping around as well. And 400 in the rainbow, too, so get excited for that. We'll see you back here for race 1.